Big Gord from FHM, and we're in Pretoria with our homies Abstract and Archer. I always get them mixed up because they're both so handsome. And we are actually on a pickup artist course. Myself and Lou from FHM, we are going to be transformed, apparently, from bumbling morons inept in the playing field of love to be more like we're aspiring to be more like our homies. Gentlemen, what are we expecting to learn today on night one of our 3-night crash course in being awesome?
Okay, great. So the first things you need to be awesome, right, is you need to be able to initiate a conversation with a beautiful woman. Okay, and how you're going to do this is something called an opener, okay, which we discussed earlier. You both have your routines and material to help you push forward, and after that you're going to have to follow it by a transition.
Now, a bit of background on pickup artistry. It's essentially an underground movement that's been going for 10, 15 years. Made famous by Neil Strauss' style in his book, The Game. We did a story in the FHM probably about 6-8 months back where we interviewed Neil Strauss. These gentlemen called us up and said, look, things have progressed since then. We would like to prove to you that the stuff works and that it's not creepy and that it's not like chauvinistic. It's really just a way of initializing conversation with women to give yourself a level playing field. And the gentlemen have been spending the last 2 or 3 hours with us discussing firstly our insecurities, what it is that's wrong with our game, breaking us down quite hectically, and then explaining that, like myself and Lou, what are a couple of standard ways to initiate conversation, how to keep conversation going, and how to get the upper hand psychologically, whereas women, because they have breasts, are beautiful and are the ones being hit on, start with the upper hand. These dudes are quite well organized. It's like we're only about 4 pages in, and by the end of the weekend we hopefully will be on the back page, which is awesomeness.
You'll also, just for the record, notice we're in an actual lecture room at Tucky's University. We've got a blackboard up front there. Approach, open, false time constraint, and neg. It's all very ethical, surprisingly, because we were wondering about the ethics, but we're going brilliantly, and now it's time to hit the square. So far, so good. Gordy over here is about to open his first ever set of his entire life.
I know, it's good.
I'm nervous for him.
I'm more nervous because these dudes who are so natural at this are watching. My first task was to go and do what they call a newbie drill, where you have to go up to girls and ask them to reject you. And as our mates have pointed out, they actually generally don't. Sometimes they do. I got rejected pretty hard. And then the next thing was to try and work an opening sequence or opening line into an actual conversation, and the whole time being aware of how you're spreading your attention and all the rest.
Yeah, it's not about trying to talk to every girl you see and trying to, get every girl you see into bed. It's about talking to a girl, and through the process of talking to lots and lots of girls, you find out what you like and what you don't like in a girl, and that furthers you on your quest,
Because as you say, you got to get to know them a little bit before you can try and chat with them sincerely, because you wouldn't just meet a guy and ask him to be your friend before you sort of accidentally had a conversation.
It's been cool. I mean, it's pretty nerve-wracking out there. It's weird. It's like I was just saying to Gord, he mentioned it now. It seems like a very, very long way away from actually going on a date with someone or seducing someone or whatever, and I suppose that's where the whole ethical issue actually becomes a non-issue, because it's just human beings interacting like normal human beings. There's no magic.
And we were discussing just now that it's human interaction. It's not like a set of things you do that guarantee success, that you can sleep with anybody you want.
It's the end of night 1. It's 10 to 12.
We got random nicknames. We got handles.
We got handles.
And heavy.
We opened a lot of sets. We spoke to a lot of girls.
Our mentors were quite impressed with us because we didn't hesitate or look scared too often. It is quite scary. I have a feeling that this could actually be quite demeaning to some others who don't get it right.
Yeah.
Feel even
no,
worse.
Look, you got to have balls. You got to totally have balls if you want to.
But after a couple of times, you do realize that if you go up to them and they all roll their eyes and think, "Who is this dickhead?" it actually really doesn't matter. We successfully achieved all of the things because today was all about opening conversations, establishing like a vibe, and settling in. Tomorrow we're going to learn about attraction, and then how to make the girl that you're interested in to read whether or not she's attracted to you, and if she is, how to then progress further. But the only thing I didn't get right, that Handsome Lou over here did get right, was what they call kind of starting to touch them, not in a sexual way, just pat on the shoulder, friendly touching, nothing weird, because you're not allowed to be weird. It's strictly against the rules.
And for the record, there's no cheating in this. There's no easy fix. People, once again, the whole issue in about the morality and the ethics around it, it's nonsense.
Because you can't
You're
just...
actually speaking to a human being, and there's nothing that you can say to make them change their minds.
Because the problem is, you might get along with the girl, you just don't have the courage, and she's naturally too defensive to go talk to her and find out. This is a way that guys can get the conversation going, get the girl to let her guard down and be herself, and then it's up to you to be yourself. But as I say, I failed a little bit on the Kano, got everything else right. Lou had a complete success, and then once we had achieved that, we left because we're only going to progress further tomorrow. Day one, success.
From a freezing cold Hatfield Square, time out of day one of FHM
Learning to Spade.
Peace.